Georgia O'Keeffe was born on November 15, 1887 in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Her parents were Francis and Ida. They were dairy farmers. Georgia had 6 other siblings, in which she was the second born and the first daughter. At age 10, Georgia became interested in art and had the desire to become an artist. A local watercolorist by the name of Sarah Mann began teaching her artistic skills. She attended Town Hall School in Sun Prairie and then went to Sacred Heart Academy in Madison, Wisconsin for 2 years. She then moved back to Peacock Hill in Williamsburg, Virginia, where she lived with her aunt and attended Madison High School. She graduated high school in 1905 from Chatham Institute. After graduating, she attended the Art Institute of Chicago for a year. In 1907, she attended the Art Students League in New York City, where she studied under William Merritt Chase, an American painter. While under the instruction of Chase, she became interested in oil paintings. Her painting, Dead Rabbit with a Copper Pot, won her a scholarship to attend the Art Students League Outdoor Summer School held in Lake George, New York. In 1908, O'Keeffe lost her interest in becoming an artist because she wanted to paint her own individual style and not conform to the art of the time. She did not paint for the 4 following years.
It was all academic. You were taught to paint like somebody else. Made me not want to paint at all. You wanted to paint your own way.
In 1912, while attending a class at the University of Virginia, she was introduced to the ideas of Arthur Wesley Dow. He believed that art should be created by elements of composition, line, mass, and color. She then gained inspiration to start painting again. From 1912 to 1914, she taught art in the schools in the Texas Panhandle. After teaching, she attended the Teachers College of Columbia University. In the fall of 1915, she completed a series of charcoal abstractions. She then took a job as the head of the art department at West Texas State Normal College from the fall of 1916 to February of 1918. Anita Pulitzer, an American photographer, showed some of Georgia O'Keeffe's charcoal drawings to Alfred Stieglitz, which he then showed at his gallery 291. Stieglitz loved O'Keeffe's work, and O'Keeffe shared a respect for his work as well. In April of 1916, he exhibited 10 of her drawings at 291, and then, the following year, O'Keeffe had her first solo show. Some of the drawings he displayed included her 1915 charcoal drawings, which were favored because they orchestrated line, shape, and tone into abstract compositions. After about 2 years, O'Keeffe moved to New York, where she could devote all of her time to painting and begin her career as an artist. Stieglitz promised her financial support, and they had one of the most well-known collaborations to the modernist era. He would paint portraits of O'Keeffe while she would produce new paintings and drawings to show in the gallery every year. O'Keeffe and Stieglitz wed in 1924. Stieglitz promoted O'Keeffe's work in 22 solo exhibitions and numerous group installations. Like every couple, O'Keeffe and Stieglitz had their ups and downs. Stieglitz would record the conflicts in their personal and professional lives in his photographs. In her drawings, O'Keeffe asserts her independence from traditional art. Her compositions of bold stroke on charcoal of large sheets of paper evokes the growth and movement of nature through abstract forms. In 1929, O'Keeffe took a trip that changed her artistically forever. During a visit to her friend's ranch near Taos, New Mexico, she began a lot of artwork influenced heavily by the local culture, such as Kachina dolls and Bultos. It would become a yearly staple for O'Keeffe to travel down to New Mexico to paint. She ended up purchasing 2 properties that she visited frequently until 1946, in which her husband suffered a massive stroke.
Well, Mr. Stieglitz had died, and I had settled his estate, and I could live where I wanted to. There was nothing holding me in the big city, so I came out here. I always knew I'd live out here if I had a chance.
In 1931, O'Keeffe's first work with bones was put on display. This was the first work she unveiled that was heavily influenced by her time in New Mexico. With the help of her husband, O'Keeffe continued to have annual exhibition release that displayed her newfound interest in the landscape of New Mexico. O'Keeffe's own words were, "That untouched, lonely feeling place, such a fine part of what I call the far away. It is a place I have painted before, but I wanted to do again, and even now I must do again."
I felt I hadn't started on the country, and I wondered what I could take home that I could continue what I felt about the country, and I couldn't think of anything to take home but a barrel of bones. So when I got home with my barrel of bones to Lake George, I stayed up there quite a while that fall and painted. That's where I painted my first skulls, from this barrel of bone.
New Mexico became one of O'Keeffe's most frequent areas to paint because she loved to give her depiction of the landscape. Through O'Keeffe's landscape paintings, she is able to represent a unique emotion that goes unseen by many individuals. Each of her landscapes paintings represent a different emotion. Landscapes are not the only things that interested O'Keeffe while she spent time in New Mexico. This spot in New Mexico is called the Black Place. This was a place that O'Keeffe frequented to paint. Over the course of her life, she would paint 6 canvases, 1 very large pastel, and 9 pencil sketchings of this place. The area in which O'Keeffe regularly visited for inspiration for her paintings is now known as O'Keeffe Country.
As soon as I saw it, that was my country. I had never seen anything like it before, but it fitted to me exactly. It's something that's in the air. It's just different. The sky is different. The stars are different. The wind is different. I came at 29, and I think I stayed about 2 months and a half. I had a very good year working. And then maybe I stayed a little longer every year.
Towards the end of her career, Georgia O'Keeffe began to have trouble with her eyesight. Painting was her passion, her love, and her hobby. She could not imagine life without it. "My world is blurred," O'Keeffe cried to her sister. In 1972, she met a man named Juan Hamilton, a potter. He too did not want to see O'Keeffe give up her passion. With encouragement from Hamilton, O'Keeffe took up pottery and sculpting. This would allow her to continue making artwork without straining her eyes. Even though her precious eyesight was no longer her strongest attribute, she continued painting some images she saw through the light along with sculpting. In these last few paintings of her life, she used watercolor, oil, and graphite. She continued to paint until a few weeks before her death. Georgia O'Keeffe passed away on March 6, 1986 in St. Vincent's Hospital at the age of 98. Her body was cremated and her ashes were spread at Ghost Ranch, one of her homes in New Mexico. Ghost Ranch was also a location in which she gained much inspiration from. After passing, her accomplishments throughout her life were greatly recognized by various museums all over the country. O'Keeffe was admitted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. She was awarded the Gold Medal of Painting, the Medal of Freedom, and the National Medal of Arts. Many books and films were made about her life as well. Georgia O'Keeffe is still recognized today as a great inspiration to American art. Throughout her career as an artist, her work showed people a new perspective of nature and inspired many individuals to look at nature in a whole new way. Her work is important because she gives abstract portrayals of nature that go unseen by the untrained eye.